welcome to another edition of the Sewing Guru, and for this particular video I'm going to show you how to construct and attach the collar onto the shirt. Now if you're watching this video and you've followed all the videos before it and constructed the shirt as in the videos, you should have near enough the whole shirt completed. Okay, so like me, you should have got the fronts done with the pocket. We should have the sleeves attached with the cuffs, with the placket on as well. And all that's left now is to attach the collar and put the buttons on and also just finish it off at the bottom hem. Okay, so basically you should have cut out your collar pieces, and I'm going to show you how to construct that right now. Okay, so what we're going to do is make up this collar with a stand. Alright, so this is a two-piece collar because it's got the collar part here and it's got the stand. Alright, so this is what I'm going to show you how to make up. Alright, so obviously when it's on the shirt, that is the effect it's going to give. Alright, so from your pattern you should have the collar piece, which looks like this, and there's two of them. Alright, okay, so you're going to be bagging those out, you're going to be stitching them together and bagging them out, and also you should have your stand pieces, and again two of them identical in size. So you've got your stand pieces which are identical, and also the collar piece which is identical. And basically what happens is that this stand will just attach to the collar piece, causing this full collar effect. Okay, so you also need your interfacing, which again is like the cuffs, really stiff. Okay, really stiff interfacing. So we've got the stand part and we have the collar part. Okay, so what you need to do is first of all cut those to size. Now the stand part, what it is the fusing is going to be the exact size of what you're left with when you've sewn the collar. So for instance, this piece here, before you actually start sewing it, has all your seam allowances on, and it's a lot bigger than the finished part. So the finished part, as you can see, is a lot smaller than this. So that's what you cut this fusing piece to. You cut it to this size. So you need to get that and put it right in the centre, so you can see it like as if you've got your seam allowances here, and you need to put that right in the centre of your stand. Okay, and we just need to press that, just press that down and fuse this part on there. Okay, just fuse that. Now it's starting to move. I think what I'll do is I'll turn it over and fuse it on this side. Just fuse this on. That's better. Okay, so we don't want movement, we want just to get this exactly right in the middle. Okay, now this fusing that I'm using is it's got the glue on one side and no glue on the other, so it sticks. Okay, so just keep pressing that in. Like so. Okay, and also you need to do that with the collar piece as well. Now the collar piece is slightly different to your stand. As you can see, the stand part fits right in the middle, so you can see seam allowances right round it. Okay, with the collar it's slightly different. The collar part has seam allowances around the sides, okay, as you can see here, around the side, along the top, but it neatly fits at the bottom, so it goes right down to the very bottom with no seam allowance here. Okay, so make sure you align that so that you've got your seam parts here, the seam allowances showing, alright? Because if it does go over at the bottom, you can just trim that down, okay? Doesn't really matter, you can trim that down when you've fused this on. So just make this sure that this is really neat, like I'm doing here, and you've got this real nice seam allowance part, and you can see it that it's sort of equal right along, okay? So just fuse that on. Okay, now you can see that I've gone over, okay, on this side. So if you've got any excess fusing, just trim that down to the size of your collar, so then it really makes it neat. So just trim this right along until you come to the other side, like so, and just keep pressing this down. Okay. Right, so now when you've fused that and you've got your seam allowances all the way around, the first thing what we need to do is we just need to work on the stand part where the fusing is on. Okay, so get that, and just all you do is you turn this part here, turn this seam allowance over, just press this. Just press this down, like so. Just, you know, just take your time. Okay, just press that, like so. Okay, so that's been pressed back. Okay, now if you don't have enough seam allowance, all you do is just trim this down. Alright, so like me, in fact I haven't got enough seam allowance there, to be honest with you. There's not enough there. So all you need to do is just trim this fusing, just trim it back slightly. Just open this up a bit, right along. Okay, it's just about trial and error. You know, you've got to get this right, really. You know, just there. Right, so we just need to just trim this just a little bit further back, just the fusing. We're not trimming the actual stand part itself. We're just trimming this fusing part, and just cut this just a small amount. Doesn't need to be much. Just trimming this back, so then we're left with a decent amount of seam allowance. Just cut this right along, okay, and make sure that it is equal. Like so, okay, and just press that now down again. See, now that now is a decent piece of seam there, really. So again, now that we've trimmed that back again, we've got a decent amount of seam allowance. Yeah, that's a lot better. That's a lot better now. Okay, so just press that down and just press this over like before, and at least then you've got a decent amount of seam allowance. Right along. right along. Okay, and when you've done that, what you need to do is you need to stitch along the edge from here right along to this point here. Right, so I've stitched right along here. Okay, and as you can see, it's basically just folded this down and it's secured this right along. All right, now this part that you stitch down attaches to the shirt on the neck. All right, and this part here attaches to the collar part. Okay, so the next part, disregard the collar stand, and we're going to now be working on the collar. Okay, so you need to put your right sides together like so, where you can see the fusing. Okay, just give this a bit of a press and then both pieces will stay together. Okay, and they won't move when you're stitching these together. Okay, and what you need to do is just construct this collar part. Now if you want to, you can put some pins in. Just put those in right at the edge. Okay, making sure that the two pieces are together. Okay, just put your pins in. Don't put them through the fusing, just put them through the fabric on the seam allowances if you're going to need pins. Alright, and what we're doing is we're stitching from here across to the top, right along, and then back down to this point here. So basically your guide is your fusing. Alright, so just stitch right round and do that now. Okay, so when you've done that and you've stitched around the whole thing, okay, just clip your corners like so, and the other one. Yeah, and what you need to do is just bag this out. Just bag this out. Now the collar should be really, really nice. Really, really nice. Okay, so just basically just bag out your corners. Okay, just bag those out. There we go. And when you're happy with that, what you need to do is just give this now a bit of a press. Just press this down. There we go. Really, really nice. Okay. Just keep on. If you're not happy with your points, just keep bagging them out until you got a really nice point. Okay. And eventually you will, you know, if you just, but be careful not to basically push your point of your scissors through, because you're going to have to stitch it again. Okay, so just press that. Okay, now if you have this here where it's basically sticking out, where your fusing is sticking out, it doesn't matter, because what happens is it disappears into this collar stand, so that doesn't matter. The most important part is along here, these parts here. This has to look neat. So when you're happy with that, okay, what you need to do is you need to just put a top stitching a little bit in, so about 1 centimetre in or 1/2 centimetre in, and just stitch round the edge right round here and down to this point here. Right, so when you've done that and you've top stitched right along, as you can see, I've top stitched mine right along here, along the front, right along. Okay, just give that a nice press down. Right, okay. Now the next bit, what you need to do is just secure this down. Okay, because this is still open. So what you need to do is just put a row stitching right on the edge, right along to this point here, just to secure this, and then it's ready to go into your collar stand. Right, so when you've done that and you've just secured along the bottom here of the collar, the next bit is get your stand with the fusing in, okay, and you need to find the middle of this stand, okay, so just basically just fold this over and you'll find the middle like so. And also you need to have the middle marked on your collar as well, so just basically fold it over and get your middle like so. Okay, now what you need to do now is, it doesn't really matter which way, it doesn't matter, okay, you need to attach this collar onto your stand like so. So you're basically simply just attaching that and you're putting the middle pieces to the middle pieces. Okay, so just attach that on there like so. Okay, and you need to be going and running this seam right along the edge. So these two raw edges need to be matching completely. Okay, I'm just going to put a couple of pins in just to secure mine down. Okay, where it just completely aligns like so. Yeah, and the next part, what you need to do, all we're doing is we're just attaching with a stitching line from here right along to this point here to secure this collar part onto the stand. Okay, so we just need to give this a press. Okay, just press this down. And if I just turn this around like so, yeah, you can see that your collar and the stand is starting to form. Okay, so the next part, what you need to do is we're attaching this other stand part onto here. Okay, so actually turn that over and simply place this stand onto there like so, and just put some pins around here right along, one there, and then finally one at the other side. Here, like so. I'll put another one here as well, just to secure it. Just put the pins in just to secure, like so. And what we're doing is we're stitching from here. So you've got this overlap, okay, well it's supposed to be like that, this overhang, okay, and we're stitching from here round all the way along to this side here, and of course where your fusing is, you can use that as a guide, okay, so you're basically stitching right on the edge of the fusing, attaching these stand parts together, okay, so attach from here right along to this point here. Okay, so when you've done that and you've stitched along here right along, the next part is we're just going to bag this out, okay, and put this the right way. Let's just turn this through, and what happens, this hard interfacing, what it does is it forms like a guide, and it just gives this really nice curve, as you can see. It's really nice curve. Just press this down right along, and just keep turning this curve through. Just press this so it's forcing the whole thing through like so. And then the next part, what we're doing is we're going to be just folding this over and forcing this how the collar wants to be. Now the easiest way is you need a tailor's ham for this. Okay, and what we're doing is we're just positioning this collar onto the tailor's ham like so. But what I think the best bet is just put a pin there like so, and then one on the other side, and it just gives this secure look, just keeps it secure down. Okay, and this would act like your neck. So what we're doing is we're just pressing this, okay, and we're just forming this curve on the neck of the collar before we actually attach the collar on. Okay, so just press this down. Okay, when you've done that, we'll take it off the ham again. Like so. Just move this ham out of the way. And what's happening is this now, as you can see, it's causing it to curve around. Okay, and you can see where all this now wants to lie. It just wants to lie. Now this here, as you can see, is your seam allowance. Now we need to just trim this if there's anything. Now you can see with mine here, it's actually slightly too big here. So what I'm going to do is just trim this so that it just keeps it all really neat. You know, it's not much, it's just make sure that the whole thing is trimmed so it's all the same. Trim on this side a little bit as well, so that I'm then happy with that. But you still make sure that you've got enough seam allowance here for when you attach the collar onto the neck of the shirt. Okay, so the next part, now that you've completed the collar, this here now is ready to be attached to the neck of the shirt.